Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Major number 103-A rim cylinder guard plate is what this is. I have one removed from the packaging here, and let's take a closer look at it. This is basically a piece of steel that is going to attach over the head of your, I call it a rim cylinder guard, sure, over the head of your mortise cylinder, certainly as well. If it's aluminum storefront, you'll probably have a mortise cylinder installed. I have a cylinder with an arm's reach, so let's show you what that looks like when it's installed. Typical cylinder that you might see in, well, I was about to say aluminum storefront. It's got probably the wrong cam for that. But that's how that's going to work. It's going to fit right over that. Okay? And that head is going to fit right into that dimpled, depressed area in the back of the cylinder guard. Now, I guess the question is why would it be important to protect the cylinder? Well, a couple of reasons, really. And those couple of reasons are simply, if you can get a tool to the top of the head of the cylinder, you can very likely spin that off. Okay, so it's a potential security concern. It's not, you know, a little bit of lock knowledge allows you to understand how you might destructively bypass a cylinder, knowing how to manipulate the lock should this be pulled off and removed. So that's a reason. That's certainly the most absolute primary reason why you do that. And then, of course, the secondary reason is that security hardware like this tends to deter attempts at vandalism or destructive means of bypass. Breaking in is the bottom line. So it's a deterrent, but it actually works. Those are the two reasons I would give. Let's talk about the size of this plate. Overall width, about 3 inch. Overall height, about 5 13/16. Material thickness is probably about 100 thousandths thick. .098 is what it actually is, .098. And then maybe a follow-up question would be is how deep of a dimple or depression does the factory provide here? And I think the manufacturer says it's 3/16. My caliper tells me, yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not able to gauge it very accurately because I'm just touching that on there, but I can see 3/16 to be about correct from the face of the inside of the surface to inside of here. Okay. Now it does appear to me that that hole is not exactly centered on the plate. One edge to the center of the plate appears to be about 1 9/16. On the other side, yeah, it's not exactly centered. Looks like it's about 1 7/16 on the other side. So you're probably not going to be using this in aluminum storefront, is the bottom line. And the reason is because the back set is not going to be very conducive. If you have an outswinging aluminum storefront door with 1.5 inch back set, you'd be able to use it over on this side. You'd be able to fit that on. But now it's quite clearly something that you would see on a outswing steel door application, or a door that probably has indeed a rim cylinder, although it could be a mortise cylinder if you've got some sort of lock that takes a mortise cylinder. But one where the back set is greater than about 1.5 inches on one side. Okay, so that is where, when they use the term rim cylinder, that's probably why they're using it, because it's going to be dependent on back set. So the edge to that center is about 1 7/16 or about 1 9/16. Why it's off center like that, I can't say. I do have 2 of them here, and they do appear to be the same. It's by design where they certainly put this dimpled area. So be mindful of it. You know, when you're installing it, determine what side you're going to use, and that would be that. Now, typical application for this is going to be a rim exit device on a service door that has a simple pull handle. That rim exit device has a rim cylinder on the outside so that you have some key access. What you want to do is prevent someone from knocking that cylinder off the door and then otherwise being able to manipulate the exit device so that you can get in quite easily, is the bottom line. This is going to include 1/4 carriage bolts. These carriage bolts are specifically intended for an 1 3/4 thick door, as they are about 2 1/4 in length. So that's going to allow you to get a washer and that nylon lock nut installed as well. Okay. If you've got a thicker door, just get yourself some longer carriage bolts. Again, 1/4. Let's switch to the screen view now, and let's take a closer look at all of the supporting information for this item. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Now here's the item that we are looking at. Extended description information: rim lock, cylinder guard, 3/16 center rise, aluminum powder coat. It's powder coated in an aluminum finish. The base material is steel. Uh, 3/32 steel guard plate completely covers rim cylinder, leaving only 13/16 hole for the key. And then finally, sold as each. When you buy one, we'll ship you one. Larger image. I have some larger images here as well. There's the packaging, the contents. You can see that that's powder coated. One dimension I didn't give you is what is the projection. The overall projection from the face of the door of this unit is going to be right at about 0.235 inch, so almost a 1/4 inch overall projection. And another view showing the backside, and then your fasteners, or your bolts, I should say. Okay, there is a link below this video as well to the product brochure as seen here. Let's take a look at that. Now that is a cut sheet of this item. Okay, they have one that doesn't feature a dimple at all, just a flat unit. You could have the head of a cylinder that's completely concealed. There are locks like that. Fairly unusual for me to bump into a flat latch guard like this. So I'm not exactly sure what piece of hardware they designed that around. But there are concealed head cylinders. Other latch guard protector here as well, very typical garden variety style. And again, these types of things they're effective, but they're also a deterrent. It's nice, you know, having one of these on the door generally says to someone, maybe pass this door and go to the next one. There's also a link below this video as seen here to the manufacturer's page in our site where you can pull up not only all of the major products we sell by means of this horizontal navigation, but also a link to the manufacturer's website as seen here, but also a link to the full product catalog. And I would certainly recommend a visit or a trip into the full product catalog because it's full of other security hardware, locksmithing tools, to be sure, but also aids or templates or guides by which you can go about prepping doors and frames for different pieces of builders or architectural hardware. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. In conclusion, a fairly typical piece of equipment that you're going to see, although you'll see installations without them a lot more than the ones that you'll see that have it installed. I do suggest that if you expect the possibility of any sort of vandalism or attempted break-in, put it on immediately. Order it with the original hardware set so that you get it installed or install it at that same time. I have some customers that, you know, are in desperate need of it after a break-in, and I have other customers who order them because they know that there's going to be that type of problem. Familiarize yourself with the major catalog if you're not already familiar, and if you work in the integration end of our industry, you'll absolutely want to be familiar with their product line. Any questions on the 103A, rim cylinder guard plate, or any other major product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.